Universities are, by their nature, larger than any one figure. Penn State will, I believe, I'm convinced of this, will continue in its excellence, in its reputation, in the tradition of its excellence in education. The board acted, as I said yesterday, and on a couple days before that, swiftly and decisively. The actions, this week's actions that show that Penn State ultimately is governed by a board that represents a cross-section of the people, cross-section of Pennsylvania, and that is how it should be. Certainly, every Pennsylvanian who has any knowledge of this case, who has read the grand jury report, feels a sense of regret and a sorrow to also see careers end. But we must keep in mind that when it comes to the safety of children, there can be no margin for error, no hesitation to act. That we need to protect children, we need to act. Unfortunately, in my career, particularly as Attorney General, I've seen many instances where people who have power believe that they're beyond the law. And I don't know you, so I'm assuming you're from the national media. We've had a series of investigations, now convictions, of corruption in the Capitol at Harrisburg, both the Republicans and the Democrats. That's what happens when people believe they have so much power that nobody can touch them. Next question.
Governor, you said with the safety of children, there should be no hesitation to act. Specifically, did you think that Paterno and Spanier, they did not do enough to act? They did not tell the authorities?
I was disappointed in their actions. I support the board's decision. Their actions caused me to not have confidence in their ability to continue to lead. Next question.
Obviously, a lot of attention on Penn State, but there have also been a lot of questions about the Second Mile, the charity that Mr. Sandusky acquired, and how they had handled this matter. Were you familiar with the Second Mile, and do you have any concerns about how they handled the information that they had about Mr. Sandusky?
I am familiar with the Second Mile. I believe there will be inquiry as to, first off, what information they had. Since the Attorney General has not done anything there yet in that respect, and charities do come under the purview of the Attorney General in a different section of the Attorney General's office, I think that relationships between outside charities and the university certainly have to be looked at, and I'm sure that that committee will look at it.
Do you have concerns about the way the charity officials handled this matter?
I don't know how they handled it, so I can't say that I have concerns. That has to be determined what, if anything, they knew about this. I have not seen, and I don't think any of you have seen, anything that anybody other than one individual connected with the charity, one individual had any knowledge. Again, I need to know what the charity, what the board members knew. And I think that's a determination that people will be looking into. Charlie?
Yesterday you said that you weren't going to make your feelings about Paterno and Spanier's actions known before you had a chance to talk to the board. Today you said you're disappointed in their actions. And I just wanted to follow up on that. Did you actually weigh in with your disappointment to the board members before they had their meeting last night?
I won't go into the deliberations of the board meeting last night. I listened to that. I will say that I reminded the board that we must remember that 10-year-old child and the other children.
Can you talk about why you decided when you were the Attorney General not to press charges against Sandusky in that initial?
Say that again?
When you were Attorney General and the case from Clinton County came to your desk, can you talk about why you decided to look at a more broad case instead of charging him on that one right away?
Well, no, I'm not going to comment on that, but I would comment about it. And I think you all need to understand how investigations work. You get information, you get a case referred to you, you begin to take a look at a case, and I'm not speaking of this case, and you develop witnesses. Harold, you know this. you develop witnesses, and you go from one witness to the next, and you continue to build a case. Oftentimes it leads you to places you never would have imagined that it would lead you to. So, I mean, oftentimes it takes quite a bit of time.